Hello people of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel Anime and Orange, and this week in 3D Metal Model News. You may have already seen my very recent video, a newsflash video, where I talked about some upcoming things, and I'm going to kind of recap here with a little bit more information. One of the things that I had talked about a couple of times now was a Hobbytown exclusive of a recoloring of a couple of older Ford models. And they've finally officially released some information and pictures. We have now a picture of the Hobbytown exclusive models, in-store exclusive models that are the 1908 Model T Ford and the Ford 65 Ford Mustang. And they look very much like recolors of the already existing models. But if you look closely, especially on the 65 Mustang, it looks as if the wheels have been changed. The wheels now seem to have hubcaps similar to what was on, I believe, one of the Freightliner models, where several pieces that fold down into kind of a domed shape. And that's really cool. There's some debate about whether or not the back end is a little bit different. Now, hopefully they've improved on some things. I don't remember the details, but I remember when I built the original silver 65 Mustang, there were some issues in the way things come together between what the instructions said or the picture said. I don't remember the details, but hopefully things have been improved. They look wonderful. I love that the red Mustang has like black and silver chrome trim with black in there. It looks like it has black interior. The 1908 Model T has gold trim and black interior, and it looks really, really, really nice. And I'm guessing by the fact that they have different colored pieces, there's probably going to be at least one piece, one partial model or partial sheet in there for the gold, but I really don't know for certain whether it's going to be painted sheets with different colored pieces on one sheet, or if they're going to have partial sheets like with the Model T having maybe a quarter size or half size brass or gold colored piece separately. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but there's the pictures. They look really cool. It looks like there's at least some improvement in the Mustang, and that's exciting. Along with that, we also talked about in the previous video, I also talked about how there were several more in-color Ford models due to be released, and at that time I did not have some pictures. Now I do. Now mind you, the pictures that I have are early pictures, like sample pictures. They're probably not what the final result is going to look like. Let's just say that these are probably some sort of early build or test model pictures, and they've not been finalized yet, so just be aware the pictures I'm about to show you are not the final product, but probably a pretty good guess. We have, in an order that my laptop apparently finds appropriate, we have a 1932 Ford Coupe red. It looks like it has maybe a gray interior. But what I love about this particular model is it has a supercharger and what looks like 5-spoke racing rims. It was really cool. I've actually built a plastic model like that back in the day of AMT and Earl models. Before I ever got into Metal Earth, I used to build plastic models, and I used to have this car in a very similar color. We have a 1931 Model A in green with red trim. It also says Sam's General Store on the side. Hopefully that will remain. I think it's really cool that they've kind of labeled it. It has that very sort of nostalgic American Pickers sort of thing going on right there. We have a 1910 Model T. Looks to be green with some sort of gold brass trim and black interior. We have a 1925 Model T with sort of a kind of a burgundy or darkish red with black top and black trim, as well as a little bit of kind of brass or gold on it. And we have a rather stylish 1937 Ford pickup truck, also red color with a lot of black trim, black accents and chrome trim. If you look closely at those models, it looks like maybe some of them are a little hastily put together. Again, I don't think these are not final images. There will probably be changes to come. I think they were probably just kind of test builds. I'm not really sure, but it's something to go on. These aren't even on the website yet. They probably won't show up for another week or two from what I understand, and really won't be out till later this year. But it's very exciting. I think it's very exciting, and I already know a few people are pleased that they've kind of turned back and gone back to some of the older stuff. A lot of people, I mean, people like me are still loving the Transformers and Star Wars stuff, but I get it, and I respect this as well, that they've kind of turned back the clock and done some of the older stuff, and I hope Metal Earth continues to do that myself. Speaking of Metal Earth, going back to the Game of Thrones models, the exclusive ones from Barnes & Noble, it appears that they are now online and available for sale. Some stores have reportedly received them, some have not. Recently checked my local store and I've not seen them as of yet, and I didn't even know about them. So they're still getting out to the different stores, but right now you can buy them online. There's two different sets. There's the one that has the exclusive in color Targaryen sigil with Dragon, that's available, as well as the other box set which has the Red Keep and the Iron Throne. If you haven't bought any of the models yet and you want to get a 2-pack, there's a way to go for you, especially if you have some sort of Barnes & Noble coupon. And looking at many of the other manufacturers there are out there, I'm seeing a couple of new things from MU, and one of them almost slipped me by. Apparently there was talk about it on the Metal Earth subreddit, and I didn't see it. But I did see it today for sale. MU has come out with another Transformers model, and this Transformer model, this is Tarn, a Tarn model. Not familiar with Tarn, probably because I've never read any of the IDW comics. Apparently this is another character from the IDW comics adaptation of Transformers. It's an awesome looking model. I looked at it at first and I thought, what is this wonderful looking robot that they've come out with? And it wasn't until I saw little Transformers logo on it that I realized I need to look more into this. This model is 5 big sheets, normal for a big MU Transformers model, though I don't know if it's as big as the rest. It's listed in centimeters. We have 16.5 by 12 by 20 centimeters. So 20 centimeters, which I'm guessing is its height, comes to just short of 8 inches long. That's a respectable size. Not as big as like Megatron and whatnot, but the IDW models aren't quite as big. The other thing that I saw new on AliExpress, and I think Crazy Toys as well, is the MU Babel Tower music box. There's been a kind of explosion of music box metal models here lately, and they're basically 3D metal models, kind of like what you're already familiar with, but in the bottom is buried a music box. I've not actually put any together. Now this one is apparently new or different from any of the ones I've seen before. A few weeks back I talked about Triumph Specialty Products had listed like 10 different, I think they were all MU, but I could be wrong. They were 10 different music box models come out. P-School came out with 1 or 2. This one appears to be new. I found it on crazytoys.co.uk. I think it was also on one of the websites, one of the stores on AliExpress. It is 4 sheets, 9.9 by 9 by 9 by 16 centimeters, multicolor. It's 103 pieces to put it together, and I really don't know anything else about it. From what I've seen of the other models, the other music box type models that have come out, I've noticed a number of different people post short videos of them on Facebook. A lot of the others have color. I didn't see anything in this one about it lighting up or having color. It almost seems like they come with somewhat random music boxes, but the description doesn't say what music box it comes with, so it might just be a luck of the draw. Now I didn't see anything in the description about lights or remotes, so maybe this one doesn't come with lights, but then again, sometimes the description doesn't always list those things. And that's all the new models I've got for you this week. So now we move on to question of the week part of the news. In last week's question of the week, I'd asked the question, what are your feelings about all of the exclusive models that Metal Earth comes out with? And exclusive is kind of a broad range of things that are available only through one retailer or one store or one park or one avenue. And I put the general question out there, what are your feelings towards that? And I've got a number of responses. Shane Stribley commented about this week's question, I'm not too fussed about exclusive models because I think it makes them more of a trophy when serious collectors can get a hold of one. What is frustrating to me is that here in Australia, it's difficult to get the latest models. It's usually a while before they arrive here. An example is, I really want to build the Arizona, an older kit, but it doesn't seem to be available here. Also, the Flintstones car has been around for a while and is still not in stores here. I can order overseas, but that seems to take a long time. It's not too bad, but it would be good to be able to buy them easier. Apologies for my long-winded reply. Cheers from down under. No, I completely understand that, and I've heard that sort of thing from a lot of different people in Australia. At one point, it was extremely difficult in Australia. My understanding is there are a couple of different stores out there now, but still they have to get them imported, and it takes a while for the new stuff to get there. So I can certainly understand the frustration. I realize that I am very fortunate when it comes to Metal Earth models because they're fairly readily available, at least the general ones, fairly readily available here in the U.S. through multiple outlets. I can imagine that when the normal stuff is difficult to get, the exclusive stuff just seems very out of reach. And Garth Tube, as always, a fantastic video and info. Don't stop. I agree with Shane about the ability to buy the models gets tricky when you live so far away from the main supplier and no real retailers that specialize. I am a vivid collector, so I bite the bullet and buy all my models online from different websites and retailers. There's very little to be found in NZ, which I believe is New Zealand. I'm a big Star Wars fan also, Brad, and I was shocked to hear your story and the model that made you branch out being the castle. So pretty much in agreement with what Shane Stribley said from a different country. It's difficult to get these models. I understand Fascinations has made some steps to make their stuff more worldwide available, but still not the easiest thing if you don't live in the US. Walter J. Schuler. A great video, bud. As far as exclusives go, I'm not a fan. I'd be okay with store exclusive, but park exclusives or models that are only at a certain place frustrate me. I can't afford to fly to Disneyland or World or anywhere every time a model comes out. Only place to get these is through eBay, which a lot of the time you pay more. And I completely understand that. I think a lot of people share that same frustration. I can kind of respect the Disneyland models being exclusive. Disney wants to be able to sell their own models, kind of get those exclusive models a little bit more than store exclusives because Disney World and Disneyland are such a unique thing and a unique phenomenon. I kind of get it that they would want to sell it that way, but I also wish that they would make it more available on their online store. Some of the stuff you can buy on their online shops, but some of them you can't, and they're very weird about what they'll let you get. It's easier for me to understand that Disney gets an exclusive because of the phenomenon that they are, but it is frustrating that they don't also make it readily available online to buy, and you have to fly to the store. I very much get that. John Finnegan Jr. Hi Brad, as far as store exclusive kits, it's not a big deal to me. Big deal for me because in a short time you will see them appear on auction sites. You may pay a little more, but you can get it. I agree with Code Wookie. The Disney stuff is crazy. If you can't find them online auction sites, they cost over $40. I found a Donald Duck and a Goofy only overseas kits, again over $40. The same goes for the Universal Studio kits, and they are over $40. Like the Minion kit or Jaws. I'm a big collector, over 200 kits built, but I won't pay that kind of money. Great video and happy building. And again, that's kind of an extension of what I was saying. I completely get that. These exclusive models, these park models, a lot of people can go to the parks and then resell them online, and that's kind of nice. That doesn't make it available for the rest of it. There is a markup involved, and some people get very greedy. The Universal Studio models are terrible about this. Disney models, if you take the same or similar model, there's a slight markup that Disney sells it at compared to what it would be sold at if it wasn't Disney exclusive. And then when you turn around and sell it online, or sell it on eBay, there's another bit of a markup. The Universal Studios just really mark them up right in park. So the models are way more expensive in park than a similar size model would be outside. And then when those hit places like eBay, they're marked up even further, and they get ridiculous, up to the $40 or $50 for what probably would normally be around a $15, $20 kit. That does get a little bit insane, and I'd love to get the Minions model too, but no, I don't even want to pay the park price, much less the markup price that they've got that at on eBay. So that is a little frustrating because there are definitely people out there that will take advantage, that will try to buy up all stock, try to mark the price up and make it a difficult to get model, and just take advantage of that situation. And that is probably one of the biggest frustrations of exclusive models that there is. Megatron Rules 10. My feeling on exclusive models are I wish they were open to every store, not just exclusive stores like say the Disney models. I wouldn't plan a trip to Disneyland or world just to get the models, but I would buy them online through whatever website they were available. I feel the same way to all exclusive models. I love building these models. And that's pretty much what I was saying before. I would be okay with it being sold. I would be perfectly okay with it being sold exclusively through a certain store or group if they also made it available online. One thing to pay a little bit of shipping and still get the model than have to rely on somebody else to go to that place, buy it, and resell it on eBay, if it's even possible to do. CodeWiki, and I realize this is apparently a little bit out of order, but CodeWiki has said, my biggest complaint is that some of the Disney exclusives are only available at a specific Disney resort. Like, who has the money to travel to the Disneyland in Shanghai just to get the 5 models you could only get there? And yes, that does take it to another level. And again, why I think it's frustrating that they don't sell these online, because there were certain models, I think like Pluto, that were only sold through a store in another country. And at least for here in the US, that shows us the frustration that people from other countries feel about getting Metal Earth models that are made in the US. Kind of shares that love in an odd sort of backwards way. But that does make it even more frustrating that not only are they exclusive to one store, but they're exclusive to one location. I kind of get from a marketing point why Metal Earth would do this, why Fast Station would do this. And the bottom line is they've got to make money, and it helps keep the whole brand alive. If they can strike these deals and sell these products through certain companies, they can keep everything else alive and keep the models going and keep the excitement going. And that making something exclusive does create a certain excitement over that model, but it does also make it a little bit frustrating. Thank you everyone for sharing your feedback. I don't see that the exclusives are going to change. They seem to be getting to be a bigger deal, but I do know that we have a wonderful Metal Earth family of people that build these models and share tips and tricks, and I do also know that there are people within the community that help each other out by buying some of these models in these exclusive locations and helping others to get it. So at least we have that advantage. And kind of like what has already been the case, today's question of the week, or this week's question of the week, is somewhat of an extension on what already has been discussed. I had a conversation very recently, earlier this week, with CodeWiki about the exclusives, because we do talk back and forth about these things. And we were talking about the desire to get them all. So this question of the week is, are you or have you ever been the type to try and collect them all? Has that changed, and why? And where does it end? I would very much like to be able to get one of every exclusive model, but there are so many out there, and they keep coming out, and some of them in such hard to get places, and there's only so much money. Reality is, I feel like I have to face the fact that I'm probably not going to be able to get them all. Would I like to? Yes. But am I going to? Probably not. If the means become available, then yes, I will. But for instance, the trash can models from Disney, I don't really have that much of an interest to get them, other than the fact that they're another Metal Earth model and I'd like to complete my collection. But I'm on the fence about that one, whether or not I would like to struggle and try to get those particular models. All the Star Wars models, definitely, I'd love to grab every last one of them. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'd like to get all the exclusives, the park exclusives, the odd and ends. I've even ordered a Tenyo Millennium Falcon from Japan that I've yet to put together. So there's an influence of, yes, I'd like to collect them all, but there's a certain factor of there's ones I'm more interested in others, and there's a certain point where I've had to kind of accept I'm probably not going to manage to grab them all, but I am thrilled with the exclusive and unique ones that I have managed to get. Weigh in with your opinions in the comments down below, and as before, I will share your comments next week. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for continuing to support this channel. If you enjoy these videos, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. There's links in the description down below at the very end of this video, and there's also just a link to Ko-Fi in the description down below, where you can simply leave a tip on any video that you particularly appreciate or enjoy. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.